Fernando Mendoza is about to be drafted first overall in the NFL draft. People don't seem to have too many complaints about this. He won the Heisman, he won the National Championship, but will his game actually work in the NFL? Short answer, I'm not too sure. Fernando Mendoza is a big dude. He's 6'5", 240 pounds, and he carries the weight really well. He's the prototypical build for an NFL quarterback, and he's got a rocket-powered arm. He's not quite like Justin Herbert, but damn it, this guy can sling the football. I mean, just watch some of his pro day throws to understand quite how well this guy can throw a football. It comes out clean, it's a beautiful spiral, and 9 times out of 10, it's exactly where he wants it to go. In game, this shows up as well. He's able to make some big throws to some really good spots. I mean, in the National Championship game, just look at these throws he's able to make. He hits both of these perfectly to the back shoulder, moving the chains in key situations. He's got loads of arm talent, and he loves these kinds of back shoulder throws. He's also a really tough dude with an incredible ability to work through contact. We've all seen this play in the National Championship game. It's 4th and 5 in the 4th quarter, and this guy somehow takes it all the way to the house after breaking tackles from about half the Miami defense. He also managed to survive this hit in the Big Ten Championship game, and he just came back a couple plays later and won the game. He is built of really sturdy stuff. There's loads of upside to his game physically, but mentally there's also a lot to work with. In Indiana's offense, he was consistent in reading the game, he was great on RPOs and able to make the right throws when he needed to. He very rarely had huge mistakes that would hurt the team. This is made better by the fact that he is a dude who will just live and breathe football. He even said in an interview that he refused to get a girlfriend because it would get in the way of him going to the NFL. Technically, he's great with his feet in the pocket. There's very little wasted movement, and his drops are always timed up really well with the concepts that he's throwing. For a young quarterback, this aspect of his game is really well developed. Most guys don't have the best feet at this age, and it causes a lot of issues, but Mendoza is really polished in this aspect of the game. This will help in the NFL because having this little wasted movement means that as the game speeds up, he'll be able to read, react, and throw accurately to NFL-sized windows. Another thing you'll find with Mendoza is the guy just does not miss his layups. Yes, this sounds a bit strange and like it should be a given, but JJ McCarthy got drafted in the top 10 without being able to do this. Mendoza spending time in this RPO-heavy Indiana offense means that on these short, quick, timing throws, he's really accurate and on time. He's great at finding the correct shoulder of a receiver and being able to lead them or slow them down based on coverage and whether there's an opportunity for yards after the catch. Overall, there's a lot of positives to work with. However, he is not the finished product by any means. I think, personally, he's got a long way to go before he can be a great quarterback in the NFL. Firstly, he plays really stiff. Just watching him throw the ball, especially in games, he looks like every action has been so well rehearsed that it's become robotic. The arm angles are all the same, every movement is the same. I'm not saying this is necessarily a bad thing all the time. In the quick passing game, this works to Fernando's benefit. Pat Mahomes is the complete opposite of this, and in the quick game, sometimes you'll see throws like this. With Fernando, it just doesn't happen. But where this stiffness hurts him is when he's trying to create and move in and around, even outside the pocket. His athletic ability is somewhat limited compared to guys of his size in the league. He can't move the same way a Justin Herbert or a Josh Allen can. He's a little more like Trevor Lawrence, but he's still not even that athletic. So if you combine this with this stiffness that he plays with, it limits him to being a very one-dimensional pocket passer. You see this in the National Championship game against Miami. He's unable to find a way out of sacks because he's not got the explosiveness and dynamic playmaking ability of other guys at the position. I'm not asking him to be Taylor Green and have a 4.3 40 time, But I think the modern NFL is asking a lot more from quarterbacks than just pocket passing. You need a certain level of athleticism and fluidity because of how dominant edge rushers are becoming. Another slight issue is his decision making tends to be a little bit immature. Now, I don't think it'll be a huge problem because it can be coached out of him, but right now, he's a junkie for throwing the ball down the field. There are so many plays where he tries to force a fade to the boundary side or a throw downfield that really isn't there. I completely understand wanting to be aggressive. Look how far it's taken him. But that immaturity and decision making could lead to early career struggles in the NFL. Sometimes you just have to take what the defense is giving you and live to fight another down. He does it so well at times, but then there are other times where he gets excited and just wants to push the ball downfield. Now, a lot of these in college will fall incomplete, but in the NFL, that's not a guarantee and it could lead to turnovers. Lastly, I think with Mendoza, there are a couple of accuracy issues down the field. In the National Championship game, he has a few misses which didn't prove to be costly in the game, but if he misses like this in the league, it could be very problematic. These misses weren't too common, but there were enough to have at least a little bit of concern. I don't think this will persist when he goes into the league because if anyone can figure this out, it is Fernando Mendoza. But if he had to start on day one, it could be a very rocky ride. Luckily, Mendoza's about to enter the perfect situation for him personally. A lot of people are confused by it, but it makes perfect sense that the Raiders have bought in Kirk Cousins for this year and possibly longer. Mendoza ran a very RPO-heavy, modern college football style offense at Indiana. I'm not going to use this to take away from his skill set, but it will take time to adjust to a more pro-style offense under Clint Kubiak. His reads were more RPO-based and leverage-based, and yeah, he was damn good at it. However, this doesn't always translate to the NFL, and there are a lot of new skills that Fernando's gonna have to learn if he wants to be an effective quarterback at the pro level. He rarely went under center in college, and even less play action from that. And these are things Clint Kubiak's gonna ask him to do from day one. He has to get these right to be good at this level. I think the best comparison for Fernando Mendoza in the NFL currently is Jared Goff. They're both pretty big guys with similar levels of movement who can throw the ball really well, but as we saw with Goff, it might take time to work in the NFL. The tools are absolutely there for him to be able to develop well and become a great pro quarterback. However, the Raiders are going to have to be patient, because if they rush him into games early when he's not ready, it could well end up being like Sam Darnold was on the Jets. Mendoza will go first overall tonight, and that's fair enough, but I don't see him as the all-world prospect that a lot of people do. I'll leave you with this. Do you really think that Fernando Mendoza is a better prospect than Cam Ward last year or Caleb Williams the year before? Thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and check out this video looking at whether Malik Willis can actually be the long-term answer for the Miami Dolphins.